just knows what it wants. Will I go back to the place where I belong? Everyone could break my heart, but I try my best to not fall apart. And I find it hard to let go. The memories keep me together. Gotta fight till the end, no pressure, no pressure. And I find it hard to say no to the ones who want something better, to the ones who never say never. You'll be my pleasure. I got nothing to be scared of, cause where people live, there is always love. Know the answers in my heart, so I'll try my best to not fall apart. And I find it hard to let go. The memories keep me together. Gotta fight till the end, no pressure, no pressure. And I find it hard to say no to the ones who want something better, to the ones who never say never. Will you be my pleasure? Know the answers in my heart. Find it hard to let go. Memories keep me together. Gotta fight till the end, no pressure, no pressure. And I find it hard to say no to the ones who want something better, the ones who never say never. Will you be my pleasure? Till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. Without you, I remember myself, my name. Forgot about all you tried to change. Familiar was the sound of your voice as I continue to walk on by. It has been a year and now I'm living on the line. It has been a year and now I'm thinking that I'm better off right here without you. That I'm better off right here without you. That I'm better off right here without you. Forgetful, I admit that I've lost my place. My memory's gone erased. Like a scratch, only the scar remains. For we are better apart. Distant like the stars up above. There's no love I cannot see. And in a moment, that's when I knew I'm better off right here without you. That I'm better off right here without you. That I'm better off right here without you. I love you too, don't love me back. I can't stand this feeling inside my mind. Baby, please just tell me if I'm fine. Please just tell me if I'm fine. 'Cause I got my heart, baby. Please just tell me if I'm fine. Just tell me if I'm fine. Okay, everyone, we're about to start this TEDxSTIUHuaHin. This is not part of the TEDx. This is just me wanting to get in front of the cameras and talking to everybody. No, of course not. I just want to let you all know a little bit about what's going to happen today and how we interact with each other. We are hoping that you can all hear us and you can all see us. We are streaming live at the moment. And in about 5 minutes, the official program will begin. If there are any of you who have problems with your connection or if something happens, you can write to my line. Most of you have it already. Those of you who don't have it, you can go through friends or people that you know to get my line and tell us about if there are any issues. For now, I just want you to sit back and enjoy this incredible event. TEDx is something that is close to many people's hearts around the world. We went online today to see how many TEDx's there are actually happening right now in the world. And today there are 8 TEDx's happening. And in Thailand, this is the only TEDx that is happening today. So that's something to be proud of. We're really happy that you are all here. But I don't want to take up more time. I just want you all to enjoy this event and have a good time. Thank you very much. We will begin in exactly 9 minutes. Thank you very much. Welcome to something special. Welcome to TEDx. This TEDx event is part of a global conversation that takes place every day in every corner of the world. In schools, in theaters, in workplaces, even in prisons, people gather to hear the best ideas bubbling up in their communities. More than 3,000 TEDx events are held every year in 170 countries. It's a remarkable thing. TEDx events are self-organized under a license from TED, a non-profit organization devoted to discovering and sharing powerful ideas in the form of TED Talks. It's not TED itself, but your local TEDx team of volunteers that has done all the work to put on today's event, including booking all of the speakers. It's this team's ideas, dedication, and time that have made this possible. We really hope today's program sparks an exciting conversation. This is a day for curiosity and for skepticism, for inspiration and for action. The more you enter into it, the more you will take out. And now, on with the show.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to welcome all of you to TEDxSTIUHuaHin, the event that Sel, our beloved AGC advisor, and I spent last year to make this happen. You might be wondering, who is that girl up there? What did she have done to be there? The fact is, I still question it myself to this very moment. Am I qualified enough to be here? Lots of you might not know me, but this is my third year here at Stanford. Back then, when we are not under COVID-19 outbreak, this university hosted at least one event a month. There were various beauty contests, dance shows, and music performances all year round. But if I recall correctly, during my time here, we only host 3 academic events. And those are for people outside the university, not for the students. And those events did not receive the spotlight that they deserve. I consider myself as an introvert, and I don't hate those beauty contests or things like that, but I just don't want to attend the events that I do not really enjoy. In fact, I believe each person have their own preference and aptitudes, whether in entertainment, academic, or any other aspects, and they all deserve supports from the community, especially from the university, the very place that should help students realize their potentials and build the path toward professional life. From experience, I can say this, that this event happens because I brought the idea to Sel back in November 2019. Growing up watching TED Talks as a tool to learn English and as well as get some ideas and inspirations from the speakers, being a part of it was like an untouchable dream. Back then, there were very few TEDx events in Thailand, but there was an opportunity for me to step up and do it. I just want to take you back 2 years ago again. I felt lost. I don't know what's next after graduation. My head was blank, and I just need something to put my focus on. That thing better benefit my unknown future. The thing turned out to be convincing Sel to help me do this and apply for the TEDx license. We waited for about 2 months for the license to be approved. And that's when COVID-19 hit us. We moved to online classes, and the hope of being in actual classroom was so blurred. I kind of gave up because everything is getting worse and worse. But when the semester started, this very semester, so told me to stay behind and to discuss about this again. It was, I can say this, the best moment in my 20 years life since I was born. That finally I realized that my dreams come true. So I urge all of you, if you have a dream, a passion, and you want to do something that would benefit yourself and help you realize more about yourself, just don't hesitate and talk to your advisor. I believe that they will try their best to help you because after all, this is a university, the place that should be a stepping stone for students into their future. Thank you.
Dear friends, it's my great honor to welcome you all to this TEDxSTIUHuaHin. This event has been a year in the making and has been the subject of countless hours of preparation. But now we are finally here. Before we begin, I want to send a big thank you to our main sponsors, Celdilon and the Applied Global Communication Hua Hin. Also, I want to thank Stanford International University for allowing us using their facilities and for their support in this event. Thank you. Now, we move on to the official program. It's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker for today, Nansifa Nushat. She was born in Bangladesh and moved to Thailand in the year 2018 to attend Stanford International University. And now she is a final year international business management student and a passionate activist for social change. She discovers the path of self-actualization and leadership through her role as rising star at social enterprise called We Do. Consequently, being ahead of development and the partnership at Rising Youth Foundation, a nonprofit organization, helped her to think outside the box, keeping her desire for new learning experiences optimal. Everyone, please welcome Nansifa Nushat.
Word power, our mind automatically shifts to think about the people in certain roles as authoritarian figures, leaders, influencers, right? Now think about the things they have in common. A, their voices are heard. B, they have the confidence in their abilities. And C, they have a secret ingredient that sets them apart from everyone out there. Curious to know what that secret ingredient is? Well, I'll just spill the beans. That secret ingredient is empowerment. People in positions of power are empowered, and that is how they make things happen. Only a standalone position of power is never enough to make an impact or leave a dent in this world. Now, at some point or the other, you must have come across the writings over big banners on social media, news articles, or even across TV channels. You must have heard about the phrase women empowerment. But have you ever thought about how exactly a woman is empowered? If not, then think carefully. You will realize that it all boils down to the core of our existence. Let me tell you how. There are moments in your life when you question yourself that why am I here? Or what have I done to be here in this position? And in those moments, I find myself going to the beginning, to my roots. The following 5 different phases of my personal life contributed as the stepping stones in my journey of empowerment. Starting with phase number 1, a woman's sense of self-worth. My mother was at the tender age of 17 when she got married, and 20 when she had her first child. Growing up, I've seen her compassionate nature, her positive aura, and the unattended ambitions she sought for, but never got to turn it into a reality. You may ask why? This is because she got entangled in fulfilling the various responsibilities as a mother to her 3 kids, a wife, a daughter, a sister, and whatnot, that she never got the chance to continue her education. And I want to emphasize on this. I don't think a lot of people understand that, but perceiving education might seem normal. But where I come from, Bangladesh, and a lot of other developing nations around the world, more often than not, it is an exception. It is actually a privilege. To go to school is a privilege, education is a privilege. So they find a better option and get girls married, which they think of as easing of the burdens from their shoulder. Now, marrying early refrained my mother from realizing the truer self of her self-worth because her life revolved around taking care of her family only. As a result, she was financially dependent. And this was the trigger number 1 for me. It is true that even before our complex cognitive system develops in humans, our interactions with our primary caregivers, which is mostly our mothers, expose us to our paradigm of feelings and influence the way we see ourselves later as adults. And as a child, I never liked the idea of dependency. And as free-spirited as I am, I've always chased my freedom. It is in the later years that I realized the importance of a woman's sense of self-worth that gives women the power to shape their destiny and as well as of mankind. Phase number 2, determining your choices. As a high school student, I had my share of highs and lows. And the lows went really, really low when I did horrible in one of my exams. I tried to think of explaining it to my parents, but I just could not. Those of you know that Asian households are never in the mood to listen to your mistakes and failures, to be precise. Only when you have good news to tell or achievements to share, they're there to listen, and very proudly. And it was the same in my case. Now I had 2 choices. Either to sit there in misery and dwell in sadness, or be proactive and get out of the situation. Guess what I chose? Being proactive. I started tutoring students, and when I could save enough to pay for my examination fee, I retook the exam without telling anyone. And as easy as it might sound, it is not easy to a lot of girls out there simply because they have been raised in such a protective and controlled environment that they often forget that it's essential for them to be out there determining their choices. Because few years down the line, you will have to make your own life decisions. And trust me, there's no way out from there. Similarly, my decision to come to Thailand almost 3 years back was not easy. People around me were concerned about my freedom. After all, can a girl handle her freedom carefully? And such is the notion of the society I come from. But I knew it was the time to follow my dreams that I have dreamt for years, come what may. A year back from now, my life moved fast-paced, and I felt an urgent need to pause for a moment. If I had to describe my life at that point in one word, then it would definitely be chaotic. I needed to reflect back on my life so that I could prepare for the future. So I started preparing it for myself. People, there are moments in your life when you have to think about what you have to do so that you could prepare well for the future. But it was the same in my case. I had to pause for a moment. We live in a generation where we get access to everything at our fingertips. Yet, we lack awareness and become neglectful to our inner callings. As a result, we slowly get detached from the spiritual awakening that acts as the binding factor in bringing us closer to our real selves, our truest selves. And this awakening was brought to me by WeDo, a social enterprise that envisions a world where half of all leaders are women. The 2 months of long intensive leadership and developing program undoubtedly widened my horizons and urged me to be confident in my own abilities. It has given me a sense of direction. My journey as a rising star, potential to a female leader of the future has undoubtedly widened my horizons. This has brought me to the sense that I could be something, Phase number 4, access to opportunities and resources. Imagine a fisherman without a fishing bait. He's incapable of fishing, which naturally strips him off from his identity, simply because he cannot put his skill into implementation. Likewise, when a woman is deprived of opportunities and resources, they become just another person unlocking their truest potential. When women are given the right tools to succeed, they become limitless. They shatter the glass ceilings and go beyond their margin to constant appraisal. This came to my realization when I came across every position or place where I wanted to be a part of required prior experiences, which I didn't have at that time as I was still a full-time student. But I kept searching for an opportunity that will align with my interest. And luckily, I ended up interning at a nonprofit organization called Rising Youth Foundation, which mainly focuses on youth mobilization and sustainable development goals. This opportunity indeed helped me to learn the meaningful and deeper aspects of the societal impacts that I wouldn't have learned otherwise. And finally, phase number 5, the ability to influence. If I'm standing here today as one of the speakers, is because I have been told by my mentor that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So don't shy away from the spotlight. The ability to influence people positively with conscious thinking and effective action plans takes you one step ahead into reforming the world we live in. I may not have achieved the biggest of things in life as of yet, but my journey, our journey of stepping a stone, starts with identifying these 5 key stages of women empowerment and making them an integral component of our lifestyle. This is the end of my talk. Thank you for listening.
I'm really excited to be here. I kind of want to tell you a little bit more of the, I don't want to say basics, because we don't really know anything about my syndrome. I was born with this very rare syndrome that only 2 other people in the world, including myself, that we know of, have. Basically, what this syndrome causes is that I cannot gain weight. Yes, it does sound as good as it is. I could eat absolutely whatever I want, whenever I want, and I won't really gain any weight. I'm gonna be 25 in March, and I've never weighed over about 64 pounds my entire life. When I was in college, I hid, well, I didn't hide, everyone knew it was there, but it was a giant tub of Twinkies, donuts, chips, Skittles, and my roommate would say, I could hear you at 12:30 reaching under your bed to get food. But I'm like, you know what? It's all right, I can do these things. Because there are benefits to this syndrome. There are benefits to not being able to gain weight. There are benefits to being visually impaired. There are benefits to being kind of really small. A lot of people think, Lizzie, how in the world are you saying there's benefits when you can only see out of one eye? Let me tell you what the benefits are, because they're great. I wear contacts, half off contacts. When I wear my reading glasses, half off prescription. If somebody is annoying me, being rude, stand on my right side. It's like you're not even there. I don't even know you're standing there. Right now, if I stand like this, I have no clue that there's this whole side of the room. Also, being small, I am very willing to volunteer myself to go to Weight Watchers, go to some gym and say, hi, I'm Lizzie. I will be your poster child. Put my face on whatever you need and I will say, hi, I use this program. Look how well it worked. Even though there are really amazing things that have come from this syndrome, there are also things that have been very difficult, as you can imagine. Growing up, I was raised 150% normally. When I was my parents' first child, and when I was born, the doctors told my mom, your daughter has no amniotic fluid around her at all. So when I was born, it was a miracle that I came out screaming. The doctors told my parents, we just want to warn you, expect your daughter to never be able to talk, walk, crawl, think, or do anything by herself. Now, as first-time parents, you could think that my parents would say, oh no, why? Why are we getting our first child to have all these unknown problems? That's not what they did. The first thing they told the doctor was, we want to see her, and we are going to take her home and love her and raise her to the best of our abilities. And that's what they did. I credit pretty much everything that I've done in my life to my parents. My dad is here with me today, and my mom is at home watching. Hi, Mom. She's recovering from a surgery, and she has been the glue that's held our family together and giving me the strength to see that she's going through so much, but she has this fighting spirit that she's instilled in me, that I have so proudly been able to stand in front of people and say, you know what, I've had a really difficult life, but that's okay. That's okay. Things have been scary, things have been tough. One of the biggest things that I had to deal with growing up was something that I'm pretty sure every single one of us in this room has dealt with before. Can you guess what that is? Starts with a B. Can you guys guess it? Boys. Bullying. I know what y'all are thinking. I should have come. Why couldn't I sit here with them? I had to deal with bullying a lot, but as I said, I was raised very normally. So when I started kindergarten, I had absolutely no idea that I looked different. No clue. I couldn't see that I looked different from other kids. I think of it kind of as a big slap of reality for a 5-year-old, because I went into school first day decked out in Pocahontas gear. I was ready. I went in with my backpack that looked like a turtle shell because it was bigger than me, and I walked up to a little girl, I smiled at her. She looked up at me like I was a monster, like I was the scariest thing she'd ever seen in her life. My first reaction was, she is really rude. I am a fun kid and she's the one missing out, so I'll just go over here and play with blocks or boys. I thought the day was going to get better, and unfortunately it didn't. The day kind of got worse and worse, and a lot of people just wanted to have absolutely nothing to do with me, and I couldn't understand why. Why? What did I do? I didn't do anything to them. In my mind, I was still a really cool kid. So I had to go home and ask my parents, what's wrong with me? What did I do? Why don't they like me? And they sat me down and they said, Lizzie, the only thing that's different about you is that you're smaller than the other kids. You have this syndrome, but it's not going to define who you are. They said, go to school, pick your head up, smile, continue to be yourself, and people will see that you're just like them. And so that's what I did. I want you to think and ask yourself this in your head right now. What defines you? Who are you? Is it where you come from? Is it your background? Is it your friends? What is it? What defines who you are as a person? It's taken me a very long time to figure out what defines me. For so long, I thought what defined me was my outer appearance. I thought that my little tiny legs and my little arms and my little face was ugly. I thought it was disgusting. I hated when I would wake up in the morning and I was going to middle school and looking in the mirror, getting ready and thinking, can I just scrub this syndrome off? It would make my life so much easier if I could just scrub it off. I could look like the other kids. I wouldn't have to buy clothes that had Dora the Explorer on it. I wouldn't have to buy stuff that was bedazzled when I was trying to be like the cool kids. I would wish and pray and hope and do whatever I could to pray that I would wake up in the morning and I would be different and I wouldn't have to deal with these struggles. It's what I wanted every single day, and every single day I was disappointed. I have an amazing, amazing support system around me who never pity me, who are there to pick me up if I'm sad, who are there to laugh with me during the good times, and they taught me that even though I have this syndrome, even though things are hard, I can't let that define me. My life was put into my hands, just like your lives are put into yours. You are the person in the front seat of your car. You are the one who decides whether your car goes down a bad path or a good path. You are the one that decides what defines you. And let me tell you, it could be really hard to figure out what defines you. Because there are times where I would just get so annoyed and frustrated, and I don't care what defines me. When I was in high school, I found a video, unfortunately, that somebody posted of me labeling me the world's ugliest woman. There were over 4 million views to this video, 8 seconds long, no sound, thousands of comments. People saying, Lizzie, please, please just do a world a favor, put a gun to your head and kill yourself. Think about that. If people told you that, strangers told you this. I cried my eyes out, of course, and I was ready to kind of fight back, and something kind of clicked in my head, and I thought, I'm just gonna leave it alone. I kind of started realizing that my life is in my hands. I could either choose to make this really good, or I can choose to make this really bad. I could either be grateful and open my eyes and realize the things that I do have and make those the things that define me. I can't see out of one eye, but I can see out of the other. I might get sick a lot, but I have really nice hair. Thanks. You guys are like the best little section right here. I lose my train of thought. Okay, where was I? Hair. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I could either choose to be happy or I could choose to kind of be upset with what I have and still kind of complain about it. But then I started realizing, am I gonna let the people who called me a monster define me? Am I gonna let the people who said kill it with fire define me? No. I'm gonna let my goals and my success and my accomplishments be the things that define me, not my outer appearance, not the fact that I'm visually impaired, not the fact that I have this syndrome that nobody knows what it is. So I told myself I'm gonna work my butt off and do whatever I could to make myself better, because in my mind, the best way that I could get back at all those people who made fun of me, who teased me, who called me ugly, who called me a monster, was to make myself better and to show them, you know what? Tell me those negative things, I'm gonna turn them around and I'm gonna use them as a ladder to climb up to my goals. That's what I did. I told myself I wanted to be a motivational speaker, I want to write a book, graduate college, have my own family, my own career. 8 years later, I'm standing in front of you, still doing motivational speaking. First thing, I accomplished it. I wanted to write a book. In a couple weeks, I will be submitting the manuscript for my 3rd book. I wanted to graduate college, and I just finished college. I'm getting a degree. I'm getting a degree in communication studies from Texas State University in San Marcos, and I have a minor in English. I really tried to use real life experience while I was getting my degree, and my professors were not having it. But I wanted to have, lastly, my own family and my own career, and the family part is kind of down the line. My career part, I feel like I'm really doing well with it, considering the fact that when I decided I wanted to be a motivational speaker, I went home, I sat in front of my laptop, went to Google, typed in how to be a motivational speaker. I'm not even joking. I worked my butt off. I used the people who were telling me that I couldn't do this to motivate me. I used their negativity to light my fire to keep going. Use that. Use that. Use that negativity that you have in your life to make yourself better, because I guarantee you, you will win. Now, I want to end with asking you again. I want you to leave here and ask yourself what defines you. But remember, brave starts here. Thank you.
Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know we'll have a good time.